Jnana-kosha, Vedas, Samavedam, by pact. Jnana-kosha, a Sastrapedia of Vedic knowledge, Upanishads, Samaveda based Upanishads.
ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रवत्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पतकान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः
Samaveda Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. The Chandogya Upanishad is one of the oldest Upanishads. Together with the Jaimanya Upanishad, Brahmana, and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it dates to the Brahmana period of Vedic Sanskrit before the 8th century BCE. It is associated with the Kautuma Shakha of the Samaveda. It figures as number 9 in the Muktika canon of 108 Upanishads. It is part of the Chandogya Brahmana, which has 10 chapters. The first 2 chapters of the Brahmana deal with sacrifices and other forms of worship. The other 8 constitute the Chandogya Upanishad. Though there are more than 200 Upanishads, 10 are principal. These are called the Daso Upanishads and are known as for their philosophical depth, having become popular through the commentaries of Adi Shankaraya and Madhvacharya. Along with Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Chandogya Upanishad is an ancient source of the principal fundamentals of Vedanta philosophy. A number of references made to this Upanishad in Brahman Sutras indicate the special importance of this Upanishad in Vedantic philosophy. Important upasanas such as Dhara Vidya and Sandilya Vidya are its speciality. Invocation. Om, let my limbs and speech, prana, eyes, ears, vitality, and all the senses grow in strength. All existence is the Brahman of the Upanishads. May I never deny Brahman, nor Brahman deny me. Let there be no denial at all, let there be no denial at least from me. May the virtues that are proclaimed in the Upanishads be in me. Who am I devoted to the Atman? May they reside in me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Chapter 1. The chapter contains 13 khandas. The first khanda ordains the upasana of Udgata or holy syllable Om. The syllable Om is called by the term Udgata since a priest designated as Udgatra starts his singing of samas with Om in Vedic yajnas. The second khanda ordains that Udgata should be meditated as vital life force or prana and tells a story to explain the holiness of prana, describing how it remained untouched by evil while all other 5 senses got tainted by evil. Third khanda says that Udgata should be meditated as sun god. Fourth khanda continues telling one more method, upasana, for meditating upon Om as the eternal and ultimate refuge, and tells that one who meditates this way becomes himself an eternal and ultimate refuge. Fifth khanda tells that one who meditates on the sun and its rays as separate from each other, or prana and its functions such as speech, etc., as separate from each other, would beget many children. One more upasana of Udgata is told in 6th khanda for obtaining wealth. 7th khanda ordains that Om or Udgata should be meditated as Purusha, divine person present in the right eye, who is nothing but another manifestation of sun, Aditya, who in turn another manifestation of Om. Hence describes the equality of Om, divine person present in the right eye and sun. Another upasana of Udgata is told in 9th and 10th khandas, which is said to result in a superior divine essence in the practitioner. This is told in the form of a story of three scholars of Sama. 10th and 11th khandas describe three parts of Sama called Prastava, Udgata and Pratihara, which are sung by priests in Vedic rituals and their respective gods through a story of priest Ushasti Chakra Ayana. 12th Khanda tells about the Udgita Sama revealed by gods in the form of dogs. The result of singing this Sama is availability of food. 13th Khanda describes the various upasanas of Sthoba Aksharas. Now, chapter 1 and the first Khanda. One should meditate on the syllable Om, the Udgata, for one sings the Udgita beginning with Om. Of this, the explanation follows. The essence of all these beings is the earth. The essence of the earth is water. The essence of water is vegetation. The essence of vegetation is man. The essence of man is speech. The essence of speech is Rik. The essence of Rik is Saman. The essence of Saman is Udgita. The syllable Om, which is called Udgita, is the quiet essence of the essences, the supreme, deserving of the highest place and the eighth. Which one is Rik? Which one is Saman? Which one is Udgita? This is being considered now. Speech alone is Rik. Prana is Saman. The syllable Om is Udgita. Speech and Prana. The sources of Rik and Saman taken together form a couple. This couple is joined together in the syllable Om. Whenever a couple come together, they indeed fulfill each other's desire. He who meditates upon this syllable as Udgata, knowing it thus, verily becomes a fulfiller of all the desirable ends. That verily is the syllable of assent, for whenever one assents to a thing, one says only Om. Assent alone is prosperity. He who meditates upon this syllable as Udgita, knowing it thus, as endowed with the quality of prosperity, verily becomes one who increases all the desirable ends. With this does the threefold knowledge proceed, because with Om does one cause to listen, with Om does one recite, with Om does one sing aloud. For the worship of this syllable, with its own greatness and essence, the Vedic rites are performed. He who knows it thus and he who does not know, both perform actions with it. For knowledge and ignorance are different in their results. Whatever is performed with knowledge, faith and meditation becomes more effective. Up to this truly is the explanation of the greatness of this syllable Om. Once upon a time the gods and the demons, both descendants of Prajapati, were engaged in a fight. In that fight the gods performed the rites of the Udgata priest, resolving, with this we shall defeat them. Then they meditated on the deity of Prana connected with the nose as Udgita. The demons pierced it with evil. Therefore with it, the nose, one smells both the fragrant and the foul, for it has been pierced with evil. Then they meditated on the deity of speech as Udgita. The demons pierced it with evil. Therefore with it one speaks both truth and untruth, for it has been pierced with evil. Then they meditated on the eye as Udgita. The demons pierced it with evil. Therefore with the eye one sees both the sightly and the unsightly, for it has been pierced with evil. Then they meditated on the deity of the ear as Udgita. The demons pierced it with evil. Therefore with the ear one hears both the pleasant and the unpleasant, for it has been pierced with evil. Then they meditated on the deity of mind as Udgata. The demons pierced it with evil. Therefore with the mind one thinks both good and evil thoughts, for it has been pierced with evil. Then they meditated on the prana in the mouth as Udgata. the demons came in clash with it and were destroyed, just as a lump of clay is destroyed striking against a hard rock. Thus it is that the prana in the mouth has not been destroyed and is pure. Even as a lump of clay striking against a hard rock is destroyed, so will he be destroyed who wishes to do evil to one who knows this, the purity of prana, or who actually injures that knower, for he is like a hard rock. With this prana in the mouth, one discerns neither sweet smell nor foul, for it is free from sin. What one eats or drinks through this, even with that he maintains the other pranas, and not finding this at the time of death, the prana in the mouth and its dependents depart, and thus indeed one opens the mouth at the time of death. Angiras meditated on that prana as Udgata. The sages consider this alone as Angirasa, which is the essence of the limbs. So Brihaspati meditated on prana as Udgata. The sages consider this alone as Brihaspati, for speech is great and this prana is its lord. So Ayasya meditated on prana as Udgata, identifying it with himself. The sages consider this alone as Avyasya, for it goes out of the mouth. Baka, the son of Dalabha, knew it thus, so he became the Udgata singer of the sacrifices dwelling in Naimisha. For their sake he sang to fulfill their desire. He who knows it thus and meditates on the Udgata as the syllable Om, looking upon it as prana, certainly becomes the singer and procurer of the desired objects. This is the meditation with reference to the body. Now the meditation on the Udgata with reference to the gods is described. One should meditate on him who gives that heat as Udgata. Verily, when he rises, he sings aloud for the sake of all creatures. When he rises, he dispels darkness and fear. Verily, he who knows the sun as being endowed with these qualities becomes the dispeller of darkness and fear. This prana in the mouth and that sun are the same. This is warm and that is warm. People call this as swara, that is going, and that as swara and pratyaswara, that is going and coming. Therefore, one should meditate on this prana and that sun as Udgata. Now, verily, one should meditate on Vyana as Udgata. That which one breathes out is prana, and that which one breathes in is apana. The injection of prana and apana is Vyana. That which is Vyana, even that is speech. Therefore, one utters speech while one neither breathes out nor breathes in. That which is speech, even that is Rik. Therefore, while one neither breathes out nor breathes in, one pronounces the Rik. That which is Rik, even that is Saman. Therefore, while one neither breathes out nor breathes in, one sings the Saman. That which is Saman, even that is Udgata. Therefore, while one neither breathes out nor breathes in, one sings the Udgata. Therefore, whatever other actions require strength, such as the kindling of fire by friction, running a race towards a goal, the bending of a strong bow, are all performed, while one neither breathes out nor breathes in. For this reason, one should meditate on Vyana as Udgata. Now one should meditate on the syllables of Udgata, namely the syllables At, Gi and Tha. Prana is At, because through prana one arises Asthiti. Speech is Ji, because speech is called word, Giraha. Food is Tha, because upon food all this is established, Sthitam. Heaven is At, the sky is Ji, the earth is Tha. The sun is At, the air Gi, the fire Tha. The Samaveda is At, the Yajurveda is Gi, the Rigveda Tha. For him speech yields the milk, which is the benefit of speech. And he becomes rich in food, and an eater of food, who knows thus and meditates on the syllables of Udgata, namely At, Gi and Tha. Now follows the fulfillment of wishes. One should meditate on the objects contemplated. One should reflect upon Saman, by means of which one proceeds to sing the stotra. One should reflect upon the rik in which that Saman occurs, upon the sage by whom it is instituted, and upon the deity to whom he proceeds to pray. One should reflect upon the meter in which he proceeds to sing a stotra, and he should reflect upon the hymn with which he proceeds to sing it. He should reflect upon the quarter of heavens towards which he proceeds to sing a stotra. Lastly, having thought about himself, he should sing a stotra reflecting upon his desired object, avoiding all faults. Very quickly will be fulfilled for him the desire, desiring which he may sing the stotra, a desiring which he may sing the stotra. One should meditate on the syllable Om, the Udgita, for one sings the Udgita beginning with Om. Of this the explanation follows. Verily, the gods, being afraid of death, took refuge in the three Vedas. They covered themselves with the metrical hymns because they covered themselves with these. The metrical hymns are called Chandas. Just as a fisherman would see a fish in water, so did death observe the gods in the rites connected with Rik, Saman and Yajus. They too, knowing this, arose from the Rik, Saman and Yajus, or entered the Swara, the syllable Om. Verily, one learns the Rik, he loudly pronounces Om. It is the same with Saman and with Yajus. This syllable Om is indeed Swara. It again is immortality and fearlessness. Having entered into Swara, having meditated, the gods become immortal and fearless. He who worships this syllable, knowing it thus, enters this syllable, the Swara, which is immortality and fearlessness. And having entered it, he becomes immortal by the nectar, by which the gods became immortal. Now that which is Udgita is verily Pranava, and that which is Pranava is Udgita. The yonder sun is Udgita and also Pranava, for he moves along pronouncing Om. To him, the sun itself, I sung, therefore you are my only son. Thus said Kaushtaki to his son. Reflect upon the Udgita as the rays of the sun, then surely you will have many sons. This is the meditation with reference to the gods. Now is the meditation with reference to the body. One should meditate on him who is this prana in the mouth as Udgita, for he moves along pronouncing Om. To him the prana itself said, I sing, therefore you are my only son. Thus said Kaustaki to his son, I shall get many sons, thinking thus, sing praise to the Udgita as the manifold pranas. Now that which is Udgita is verily Pranava, and that which is Pranava is Udgita. So one should think. As a result of it, even if he chants wrongly, he rectifies it by the act done from the seat of the Hotar priest. The earth is Rik, the fire is Saman. This Saman rests upon the Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. The sky is Sa, the air is Ma, and that makes Sama. Heaven is Rik, the sun is Saman. This Saman rests upon that Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. This is Sa, the sun is Ama, and that makes Sama. The stars are Rik, the moon is Saman. This Saman rests upon the Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. The stars are Sa, the moon is Ama, and that makes Sama. Now the wild light of the sun is Rik. The blue light that is extremely dark is Saman. This Saman rests upon that Rik. Therefore the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. Again the white light of the sun is Sa, the blue light that is extremely dark is Ama, and that makes Sama. Now that person effulgent as gold, who is seen without the sun, who is with golden beard and golden hair, is exceedingly effulgent even to the very tips of his nails. His eyes are bright like a red lotus. His name is At. He has risen above all evils. Verily, he who knows thus rises above all evils. Rik and Saman are his two joints. Therefore, he is Udgita, because the priest is the singer of this At. He is the Udgita. Moreover, he, person called At, controls the world which are above, that sun as also the desires of the gods. This is with reference to the gods. Now is the meditation with reference to the body. Speech is Rik, prana is Sama. This Saman rests upon that Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. Speech is Sa, prana is Ma, and that makes Sama. The I is Rik, the self reflected in the I is Saman. This Saman rests upon that Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. The I is Sa, the self is Ama, and that makes Sama. The ear is Rik, the mind is Saman. This Saman rests upon that Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. The ear is Sa, the mind is Ma, and that makes Sama. Now the white light of the eye is Rik. The blue light that is extremely dark is Saman. This Saman rests upon that Rik. Therefore, the Saman is sung as resting upon the Rik. The white light of the eye is Sa. The blue light that is extremely dark is Ma, and that makes Sama. Now this person who is seen within the eye, he indeed is Rik. He is Saman. He is Ukta. He is Yajus. He is the Vedas. The form of this person seen in the eye is the Sama as the form of that person seen in the sun. His joints are the same as those of other. His name is the same as that of other. That person in the eye is the Lord of all the worlds that are extended below, as also of the desired objects of men. So, those who sing on the lute sing of him alone, and therefore thereby become endowed with wealth. Now he who sings of Saman after knowing the deity Udgita thus sings to both. Through that person in the sun, he, that singer, gets the worlds beyond that sun and also the desired objects of gods. Similarly, through this person in the eye, one gets the worlds that are extended below this person and also the desired objects of men. For this reason, the Udgata priest who knows thus should ask the sacrificer, "What desire shall I obtain for you by singing the Saman?" For he alone becomes capable of obtaining desires by singing. Who knowing thus sings the Saman, he sings the Saman. In ancient times there were three proficient in Udgita: Silaka, the son of Salavat, Chaitikayana of the Dalabha family, and Pravahana, the son of Jivala. They said, "We are proficient in Udgita. If you agree, let us enter on a discussion of Udgita." "Let it be so." Saying this, they sat down. Then Pranavahana, Jaivali, said, "You too, revered sirs, speak first, and I shall listen to the words of those two Brahmans conversing." Then Silika Salavastya said to Saikityana Dhalabha, "If you permit, I shall question you." "Question," said he. Silika asked, "What is the essence of Saman?" "The tune," said Dhalabha. "What is the essence of the tune?" "Prana," said Dhalabha. "What is the essence of prana?" "Food," said Dhalabha. "What is the essence of food?" "Water," said Dhalabha. "What is the essence of water?" "That heavenly world," said Dhalabha. "What is the essence of that world?" One cannot carry the salmon beyond the heavenly world, said Dhalbha. We locate the salmon in the world of heaven, for salmon is praised as heaven. Then Silika Salavastya said to Chaikitayana Dhalbha, O Dhalbhaya, your salmon is not indeed established. If someone were to say, your head shall fall down, surely your head would fall down. If someone now were to say again, your head shall fall down, surely your head would fall down. Salavya, will you permit me, sir, to learn this of you? Learn, said Jaivali. Salavastya, what is the essence of this world? Akasha, said Pravana. All these beings arise from Akasha alone and are finally dissolved into Akasa. Because Akasa alone is greater than all these and Akasa is the support of all times. It is this Udgata which is progressively higher and better. This again is endless. He who knowing this thus meditates upon the progressively higher and better Udgata obtains progressively higher and better lives and wins progressively higher and better worlds. Adhitvan, the son of Sunakha, having taught this to Udgata, Sandilya said, as long as among your descendants this knowledge of the Udgata continues, so long their life in this world will be progressively higher and better than ordinary lives. And in that other world also their state will be similar. He who knows and meditates thus, his life in this world surely becomes progressively higher and better, and so also his state in that other world. In that other world. When the crops in the Kuru country had been destroyed by hailstorms, there lived Usasti, the son of Chakra, with his young wife in a deplorable condition in the village of elephant drivers. He begged food of an elephant driver while he was eating beans of an inferior quality. The driver said to him, there is no other food than what is set before me. Give me some of them, said Ustati. The driver gave them to him and said, here is drink at hand, if you please. Then I shall be drinking what is defiled, said Usasti. Are not these beans also defiled? Unless I ate them, I would surely not have survived, said Usasti. But drinking is at my option. Usasti, after he had eaten, brought the remainder to his wife. She said already obtained her food by alms, so after receiving it, she kept it by. Next morning, while leaving the bed, he said, alas, if I could get a little of food, I could earn a little wealth. There a king is going to institute a sacrifice. He would appoint me to all the priestly offices. His wife said to him, well, Lord, here are the beans given by you. Having eaten them, he went off to that sacrifice which was being performed. Seeing the singing priest seated there, he sat down near the singers in the place for singing the stotras, and then he addressed the Prasostor priest. O Prasostor, if you sing the Prastava without knowing the deity that belongs to the Prastava, your head will fall down. In the same manner, he addressed the Udgarit priest, O Udgarit, if you sing the Udgata without knowing the deity that belongs to the Udgata, your head will fall down. In the same manner, he addressed the Pratihastir priest, O Pratihastir, if you sing the Pratihara without knowing the deity that belongs to the Pratihara, your head will fall down. Then they all sat down silently, suspending their duties. Then the principal of the sacrifice said to him, I should like to know you, Reverend Sir. I am Chakrayana Usthati, said he. He said, I searched for you, Reverend Sir, for all these priestly offices, but not finding you, sir, I have chosen others. Reverend Sir, you yourself take up all the priestly offices for me. Be it so, then let these same priests sing the hymns, being permitted by me. But you should give me as much wealth as you give them. Very well, said the sacrificer. Then the presbyter's priest approached him and said, Reverend Sir, you said to me, O presbyter, if you sing the prastava without knowing the deity that belongs to the prastava, your head will fall down. Which is that deity? Prana, said Ustati. All these movable and immovable beings merge in prana during dissolution and rise out of prana during creation. This is the deity that belongs to the prastava. If you sang the prastava without knowing him, after your having been warned thus by me, your head would have fallen down. Then the Udgatar priest approached him and said, Reverend Sir, you said to me, O Udgatar, if you sing the Udgita without knowing the deity that belongs to the Udgita, your head will fall down. Which is that deity? The sun, said Ustati. All these movable and immovable sing the praise of the sun when he has come up. This is the deity that belongs to the Udgita. If you sang the Udgita without knowing him, after your having been warned thus by me, your head would have fallen down. Then the Pratihastar priest approached him and said, Reverend Sir, you said to me, O Pratihastar, if you sing the Pratihara without knowing the deity that belongs to the Pratihara, your head will fall down. Which is that deity? Food, said Ustati. All these movable and immovable beings live by partaking of food only. This is the deity that belongs to the Pratihara. If you sang the Pratihara without knowing him, after your having been warned thus by me, your head would have fallen down. Therefore, next begins the Udgita seen by the dogs. Once Dhalabhaka, called also Maitreya Glaiva, went out of the village for the study of the Vedas. Before him a white dog appeared, and other dogs gathered around it and said, Reverend Sir, please obtain food for us by singing. We are hungry. The white dog said to them, Come to me over here tomorrow morning. The sage named Dhalabhaga and Maitreya Glaiva kept watch there for them. Just as those who recite the stotra singing the Bahipravamana hymn move along clasping one another's hand, even so did the dogs move along. Then they sat down and began to pronounce him. Om, let us eat. Om, let us drink. Om, may the sun who is God, Varuna, Prajapati and Savita bring us food here. O Lord of wood, bring food here. Bring it, Om. Verily, this world is the syllable Ha, which is a sthoba. The air is the syllable Hai. The moon is the syllable Atha. The self is the syllable Iha, and the fire is the syllable I. The sun is the syllable U, which is the sthoba. Invocation is the syllable E. The Viswadevas are the syllable Ayohai. Prajapati is the syllable Him. Prana is the sthoba swara. Food is the stobhaya, and Virat is the stobhavak. The undefinable and variable 13th stobha is the syllable hum. For him speech yields the milk, which is the benefit of speech, and he becomes rich in food and an eater of food, who thus knows this sacred doctrine of the summons. Knows the sacred doctrine of the summons.